Hello and welcome to Microsoft Excel tutorial, and this is tutorial number 47, and this tutorial we're going to talk about cell names. So let's get started. Okay, so up till now we already talked about formulas and functions, and you know that each and every cell has got a name, and what those names are basically nothing but a combination of the column and the row. So this cell has got a name C3. You can see it from the name box also, it's saying C3. Now the problem with this name is that as a human being, it's difficult for us to remember these names. So for instance, if I have to do any kind of calculation, suppose I have to calculate that 10 books cost how much, where each book is $50. So I can say over here $50, this is the price of the book. And then I need to calculate the price of 10 books. So the formula would be equals, and then I need to type the name of the cell that contains the price. So that is C2. And as soon as I type C2, you can see that cell gets highlighted, and then I do multiplication, and then I need to type in the address, or I can click C3, or I can use the up arrow key to select that cell. So it's C2 multiplied by C3, and as soon as I press enter key, and you get the result. Now the problem with this is if anyone else sees this formula or this worksheet, he wouldn't know that what is 50 and what is 10, right? So the best practice is that we should put a name over here, the label we call it. So I can give a label over here that we can say the price of the book, and then we have the quantity, and this is the total, right? So let me format a bit. So this is accent, this is a light color, and this is what you are getting as a total. Okay, so now what we want is that if you have a look in the formula, if I press F2 to edit, you see C2 multiplied by C3. So you need to look back that what C2 means, and then you look back over here that C2 is a price. What is C3? 10. What is 10? It's quantity, right? So what if we could give a name? So instead of C2 I could say price, and instead of C3 I could give a name quantity, right? So let's see how to give a name. So all you need to do is first of all select the cell for which you want to give a new name. So by default the name of this cell is C2, but we want to give one more name, or you can say alias, that can be referred in the formula. So I just need to select that cell for which I want to get the formula, and then go to the name box. You can click on that, or if you want to go from keyboard shortcut, the keyboard shortcut is Alt F3, and the cursor jumps to the name box. Over here you need to type the name of the cell, and there are some rules related to naming conventions. So these rules are that whatever name you are giving, that name should start with a letter. It can begin with a underscore, or it can begin with a backslash, and after that first letter it could be anything after that. After the first character, the name could contain letters. It may be uppercase or lowercase. It can contain numbers, it can contain periods, that is dot, and it can contain underscore. Another thing is that within the name you cannot contain spaces. And one more rule is that whatever name you are giving, it should not be the name of the cell or a cell range that you might have already given before. And second thing we have concerning this is that what can be the maximum length of the name. It can be maximum 255 characters, and it doesn't differentiate between capital and small. So if I say total with T in capital and total T in small, it's one and the same thing. So these are a couple of rules, and let's get started. So let's give a name to the cell. So in the name box I'm going to type over here price, and I press enter key. So this way I have given a name to the cell price. And same way if I want to give the name to this cell, I need to first of all select that cell, and just be careful you are not selecting this cell. I want to select the cell that you are referencing in the formula. So select this cell, and over here I want to give the name quantity, and press enter key, and this way we have given the name. Just to confirm it, you can go ahead and press this down arrow key, and you're gonna see we have price and quantity. If you select that, the cursor jumps up to the price. If you select quantity, the cursor jumps up to the quantity column, so you can ensure that you are pointing to the right cells. Now what we need to do is we need to create a formula. Rather than using these old names or the original names C2 and C3, I want to refer by the names that I have given. So let's see how to do it. I can say equals, and now I will be clicking on this cell. So when I click on this cell, now you see the formula that is coming up. It is saying price, it is not saying C2. Okay, and multiplied by, and if you want to type you can also type it. So if I say Q, and you can see right over there in the list we have functions also and we have names also, and you can differentiate them by the icon. So these are all the functions, and the first one you are seeing, it is the name. So you don't need to completely type it, just press tab key and it will automatically complete for you, and you can see this is now pointing to quantity. So you are done, price multiplied by quantity, and I press enter key and you get the result. So this is how you can give a name to the function. And in case if you messed up something, you have given by mistake the name to the wrong cell, no problem. In case if you have given the name to the wrong cell, you'll not be able to modify from here. In that case, you need to go to the formula tab. So I just go to the formula, and over here you're gonna see we have a section called as define names. Here you have all those tools that can be used for managing names. So the very first big icon you are seeing over here is names manager. Control F3 is the shortcut for that. When I click on that, you can see over here you get a names manager window, and this window can be used for creating new names, editing names, and deleting names. So in case if you want to delete it, you can click on delete. If you want to do any modification, you want to change the name, suppose for this cell if I want to change the name, I can click on edit, and then instead of quantity I can say QTY like this, and I click on OK. Even if you want to point to some different location, you can type on the new cell address also. And now click on OK and close. So you can see that changing that name, Excel has automatically changed this also. You don't need to manually make it quantity to QTY. Okay, so this is how we can manage. And if I go to names manager, and if I delete this, click on delete, it's asking for confirmation, yes, and I click on close, and you get this error hash name. So you remember we talked about errors. So hash name is you are writing a function name or a cell name that doesn't exist. So this problem is because of that. And if I go back and click over here, and if I give the name, I go over here QTY and I press enter, and it is fine now. So this is how we can give the names. This is the best way to give the names. Now we talk about some other options to give the name. So let's do one more calculation. We will be calculating the area of a square. So area of a square, if you know, is side multiplied by side, or side square, or side raised to the power 2. So I can say we have side over here, and user will be entering side, and over here on the right hand side I'm gonna say it is 5, and then over here I want to put the area of a square, and this area of a square I'm going to put the formula. So before putting the formula, I must name this cell. Like the previous method, I told you that you select the cell, go to the name box, type the new name, and press enter key. Another way is from here. I can click on define name, and this define name will be defining the name. So when I click on this button, you can see over here you get this window, new name, and then you can name from here. You can also get the same window from here also. When you get to names manager, click on new name, and from here also you get the same name window. Now from here what you need to do is, now you can see that Excel is intelligent enough to suggest a name. It is seeing that you are having a numerical value, and on the left hand side you have got a label, so it is suggesting that you want to give it a name side. If you are okay with that, just click on OK. If you are not, you can just give some other name. Other option you are seeing, we have concept of a scope, that whatever name you are creating, that you want to keep the scope of that name to entire workbook. That means that all the worksheets will be able to use this name. If you want to create it for this sheet only, you can select that. And then we have option over here for comments. You can type some comments, what is the use of this name and all that stuff. So now I'll go ahead and click on OK, and now you can see that we have given the name side to this cell C7. Now how to use it? It's pretty easy. Start with equal sign, and then you can type in the name of that cell, that is side, and you can see in the IntelliSense that is showing you. I press tab, multiplied by side, so I press tab and press enter key, and you get the result. Second formula is I can use the raised to the power symbol, that is exponentation. I can say equals to side, and I can use the caret for raised to the power, and I type over here 2, so side raised to the power 2, and I press enter key, and you get the same result. So this is how you can use this define names option or command to create the names. Now third way we're gonna use over here is using this create from selection. So this is fine for just giving one name, but if you have to give a name to a bunch of cells, this is the most appropriate approach. So let's see, this time we are going to do the calculation of area of rectangle, where we have length given and breadth given, and we want to multiply that. So we have length and breadth, and here we have area of rectangle, and I want to go to home, do formatting, align right, and these cells, this accent, a lighter accent, and here we're gonna have the total calculated value. So over here, suppose I want to do the calculation 20 and 40 is the breadth. So if I want to give the name using this option in the formula tab, define names, create from selection, you just need to select that entire table. The first row or first column will be the labels, and second column or row would be the values for which you want to give the name. So in this case, when I click on create from selection, and you can see the shortcut over here, Control Shift F3. When I click on that, you're gonna get this window, and over here also Excel is intelligent enough, it's suggesting that it's going to take the name for these cells from the left column. So it means these cells would be given the name from the left column. So this cell would be getting its name from the left column, that is length, and this cell would be getting the name from the left column, that is breadth. I'm fine with this, and I click on OK, and you can see in the drop down we have length pointing to C10, and we have breadth pointing to C11. Now we just need to simply type the formula equals to length, not length, equals to length, can use the down arrow key to select the second option, tab multiplied by BR tab, enter, and you get the result. So this is the way to give a name and use those custom names in your formula. So just to revise, the first way we saw it, you select the name and then go to the name box and type the new name. Other option, you select the cell for which you want to give the name, click on over here in the formula tab, define name, so you click on define name command. And the third way is you select that entire table and then click on create from selection. Now what if I have already created the formula using old names and then I want to use the new name? So for instance, I created a formula over here equals to C2 multiplied by C3, right? So this is maybe before giving the name, I created this formula. Now I have given the name, price, and quantity, and now I want to use those names over here in this formula. So you don't need to delete it and manually create it. We have a nice way available to apply the names to an existing formula. How can we do that? Is by clicking over here, and we can say I want to apply the name. Okay, so now over here you can see that Excel has given me this thing and it is suggesting these two names. I don't want these two names. In my formula, what I'm using is quantity and price. So I will select that, and now I can click on OK, and you get the same result. So you can see that your formula got updated. When I press F2, you are getting price multiplied by quantity. So this is how you can use these things. Now another option also, when you are typing the names and you don't remember the name, what name you have given, you also have this option over here, use in formula. When I click on that, you get the complete list over here. And the last option is paste name. F3 is the shortcut. So when you are typing, you can say equals to, and you simply press F3 and you get the list of all the names. So if you forgot the name of that cell that you have given, you can select price from here, click on OK, multiplied by, and also you can use from this drop down list. When you click on over here, you get the list of all the names. So you want to use price multiplied by quantity, you select quantity and your formula is done. Press enter key and you get the result. So that's all about how to give the name. Hope you found this video useful. If you have any other questions or comments, please post in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.